my tea stuff. Did I bring my tea stuff? Wow. Let me check my bag. Okay. I will be right there if anyone's there. I'll be right back. I have to get my tea stuff. This on though. Oh, I can use what I have here. I'll just stay here. That's fine. I use one of these. Little tiny tea cup. Oh, let me see here. Well, why is that not working? There we go. Okay. Oh, that's not facing me. That's hilarious. I'll get there. Wish the chat was up higher. I didn't realize that wasn't facing me. There we go. I'm waiting for my tea water to boil, and then I will we'll get started. Hey, from Portugal. Very wet and flooded. Oh, geez, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, I took my sweater off too soon. 1 second. I got warm because I had the heater on, and then I turned the heater off to boil the water, and now I'm cold. Not quite as cold as last week, though. I think I left. Let's see, I'm looking for one more art supply to have on hand. Right. Let's see. Welcome, welcome. Happy Sunday. Or as what does my husband call it? The national holiday, Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let me go get a different glue stick. It's nice to see my smiley face. I feel pretty good today. I feel, it's a day by day thing. Okay, that one's white. I like that better. Yeah, how are you all doing? Okay, turn that back on. Get the tea. There we go. All right. Well, welcome to the Art Bus and today's live. If my energy seems elevated today, it's because we just got back from running errands, which we tried to do Friday, but there was I don't know if it was the storm or what the deal was, but a lot of the stores were out of things that we normally get, so we had to go back out begrudgingly. It's 6 p.m. Okay. Well, I'm not a big football person, and my husband likes college football more than pro, but he does enjoy Super Bowl Sunday because of the foods and the snacks he makes. Oh, my camera looks really dirty. Hold on a second. I apologize, everybody. I'm going to block you out for a minute. Okay. Okay, good. Well, I thought so today it's kind of a practice for me to learn a little bit more on accordion tunnel books. So I've kind of prepped a little bit with this paper, and the reason I want to practice is I wanted to make a couple for my grandkids. But today I'm not making one for them. I'm going to make one for me because you know, the first time you ever make something, it's not the best, but we're going to see what we can do. Um, I haven't been shopping online for art supplies since my last video, but I did run into Walmart to get some stuff and I picked up some watercolor pencils. They don't have a lot of colors that I want, but for a cheap little um, set, I think it was like, well, there's 12 pencils and I think it was like $13 or something. So I know it's not like Premier Art Supply or whatever, but the main thing is they have a very basic array, which might be fine. I don't know. I was wanting more natural colors, like for nature, natural nature. Um, but I want to play with those, and I kind of got my panels started so that maybe I would have time to actually put it together on the live because I want to see it moving and I want you to be able to see it moving. So I started some panels, and if you have seen other videos, you know I'm right on a creek. And so the panels are kind of like the trees with the rocks down here, and then more rocks, which is what I'm going to have the cats sitting on, and then the creek. I'm gonna make a fourth panel probably off of the live that has the further trees, and then maybe a fifth panel that has the hill or the mountain behind it. But for the live today, I'm just gonna focus on three because I figured that's probably all I have time for to do, maybe in real life. So if you have a cuppa, cheers. Oh, it's still hot. Still hot, hot, hot. Not quite there where I could drink that yet. And I think I have all the rest of my materials that I need. Let me see. One thing. So when we got back from the store, I kind of had a plan to get here an hour before the live, and we got here a little bit later than that. But it was thankfully enough time to heat the bus up and get things sort of ready. So, okay, I'm gonna move the camera. Nope. We are. Oh, okay. That's part of the fun of being live, right? is the mishaps. Okay, well, I don't this isn't a how to. Disclaimer, full disclaimer, this is not a how to make a tunnel book. This is just um what I've seen so far of how it's made. Um I have never watched a full tutorial on a tunnel book because of my attention span is needs improvement, but I have seen bits of it. So I can get this to where you guys can see my workspace. The mess that is my studio right now. Move the heater away a little bit, I think. I kind of overdid it with the heater today because I last week was so bad in here. If you guys saw what was happening down here, you would be laughing, I think. It's like it's like a I Love Lucy episode when they're trying to do something that keeps falling apart. Okay, let's tilt this down. Uh, all right, a little bit more. Can you guys see that okay? Is that an okay angle? Just wing it. That's what I'm doing. That's how I go. Getting hot again. Winging it is the thing, man. Tell you what. Okay. And then I figured if I needed more accordion guys, pretend this is another one, then I could always glue them together, and make an endless accordion. So right now it's 4 panels. Um, so we'll start with the Rocky River or Rocky Creek part because right now that's the last panel we have. And I don't know. I think I'm gonna get up and get one more thing. I'm having my intuition tell me that I'm gonna enjoy working with my little watercolor. Uh, my little watercolor set. Okay. I like this little set because I got this when we had a van. What is it? Koi watercolors. It's a pocket field sketch box. So that's why I got it because we lived in a van, and as big as our house, but well, as big as the studio is, our van was smaller than this. So I had very limited space on supplies. So that's when I got this little watercolor set, and I haven't really done anything different since then. Okay. So I got a drawing that I did of Butch, which is our orange tabby foster, and a little Winter, and they're gonna sit on the rocks. So we'll get to those guys too. Okay. Well, I'm glad you all are here. When you guys show up, it really motivates me and gives me like more, what's the words? More energy, more creative energy when I feel like more people, other people are being creative while I'm doing this too. I don't know. Does that make sense? No, scrape my knuckle, I guess. Yeah. Okay. And I'm also not like, a really fine watercolorist. I did get this little watercolor pad at Walmart also. I would much rather shop local. Um, and I hope that I can find somewhere local that I can get stuff. But this area doesn't have a lot in the way of arts in general. So uh, Walmart did in a pinch, and then I'm looking at Blick online, and also what is it? Jerry's Artorama. Cheap Joe's closed. I didn't know that. Did you guys know that? Have you ever heard of Cheap Joe's? They were like they were like in business for 40 years or something, and they closed. They were based out of North Carolina. But yeah, they closed, and so that's not an option anymore. Whenever I watch art videos, there's one that I really like, Fran. She's in New York. I think she lives in the Bronx, and she goes to the city. But man, she just like rides a subway, which I couldn't do city life, like, you know, as a lifestyle. I like to visit the city, but I couldn't live there and be happy. I like the woods or the beach. But anyways, I digress. I do love watching her traipse around New York and go into bookshops, and I just did a horrible thing right now. And she just goes into art supplies. I did it again. She just goes into art supply shops, because there's so many there. Okay, let's try not to do that again, Matt. I was gonna ask you guys for your opinion, as I'm not watching me. Um, do you prefer, like, if I'm not talking, is that okay? And if it's just quiet, I was thinking about having like background music, but I don't want YouTube to, like, I don't want there to be a copyright thing. So I haven't done that. So I'm wondering if it's okay when there's, like, I like silence. I know I'm rambling right now, but I don't mind silence when I'm watching somebody do something. So I'm just curious on what you guys think and stuff about that. Blob. So right over here. We'll dab it. Eileen, can you just pop over and hang out with me? I love your vibe. Quiet is good, no noise is fine, silence is golden. Yeah. Yeah. No, please talk when you want. Very good. Cheers to that. See if the tea is cool enough to drink now. These are my guests' cups, but I forgot my personal cup over to, and I haven't had a guest here yet since November. It got too cold for me to think about the workshops for the local people. I was worried I would schedule a workshop, and then because I can't tell what the weather does here because the app is never right because we're in the valley, of the Smoky Mountains, and I was worried I would schedule a workshop and people would come and they would be too cold. So I had the idea to give my brain a rest on that and just think about it like later in February to start planning some maybe for March. Yummy. Okay. Oh, maybe a little green in the water. No, forgot I need to go over here first. I don't want to cover all the white. One of my friends that lives in the local, she might be on. I don't know. BJ, are you on? We talk about watercolor a little bit ago, and it's a struggle to leave white. You got to remember to leave white. Oh, need to go over here first. All right. Well, I think what I'm going to do for this video is tape these with the painter's tape instead of glue, because if I was going to sit here and finish the painting, then I would not be able to put the book together on the live. I'm learning, and that's what it's all about. Oh, let's see some browns. Like the rocks have a lot of moss on them, but I need all that to dry, so I'm just going to move on to the next panel. That's the furthest away panel so far. And then the middle panel. Oh, let me get some water on there first. I always get this like tiny tinge of like anxiousness. It's not as bad as when I first started doing lives. Um, I always get a little bit like public speaking nervous, like, but I remind myself this is a process channel. Like I'm not doing a tutorial. There's no pressure, and that helps like regulate my nervous system about that. Brings me back to speech class in college. Oh, that was horrible. Standing in front of a room and like seeing all the people stare at you. And then they're all dreading when it's their turn, except for that, like those two people that are like going to be public speaking for their career or something. Oh shit! I didn't know oops! I didn't know I got black there. I picked up brown. Anyways, yeah. But you know, all those people that are waiting for their turn to do the public speaking, they're nervous too. Well, maybe some of them aren't, but they're not our friends, so we're not going to worry about it. Just kidding. Okay. I don't know what that color looks like on top. A little golden ray of sunshine on there. Might have sunshine. Hey, I have a new idea. Maybe next Sunday I can show, it'll be like a goal that I finish this. I don't always finish my stuff. Maybe I can have a goal of next Sunday showing you guys if I did actually finish this. Maybe one of you will remember to ask me, and maybe if I really do it, you won't have to ask me because I'll already be like so excited to show you. I'm just putting some green on here because I can, and makes it a little more interesting. I don't know if this shows or not, so I'm just going to do black right there. Can't remember. I need to see these two together. I don't know about you guys, but let's look at them closer. So we have the creek, and then we have some rocks in the foreground. Okay. That's kind of cool. I feel like this should be colored because you probably see that, but I'm not going to do that today. We'll figure that out later. Okay, we're going to let those guys dry now. Let's see. I need to combine some orange and red for Butch. He's not like, I'm not going for realism, but I don't want just like right out of the box orange, you know? He's also a little irritated with me because I didn't take him out before I started. And they go out, we take them out like 2 to 3 times a day, depending on the weather. They walk along the creek. It's really fun to see. Help if I get this in the video. There we go. All right, let me think about him. His tail has a tip, and then this is kind of all orange, I think. Doesn't really matter because it's my first time ever. I think everything is orange except the front of him you see white. Then he has a little white paws, mittens. I realize now that I didn't wet the watercolor first. Oopsie, not that much. Not that much either. This is where I might come in after and use like the watercolor pencils to make his little markings and stuff. So we'll let the first layer of Butch dry. And then we'll work on Winter. I don't have a lot to do with Winter because he is white. So I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to paint white. And then I'll probably like do some shading with light gray or something. But that'll come later too. All right, we're going to let Winter dry and work on the first scene. So we have some rocks here and then some trees. I'm not sure really if I'm happy with my little tree drawing. I also thought that I would, once I figure out where the branch is, I'll cut out the little branch up there. Let me get some water on here. Okay, there we go. I need to spend time going through my brushes. I have a lot of real brushes, so many, but they're all kind of bundled up together from being in storage. And so I need to go through and pick out the oil and acrylic watercolor brushes and the watercolor brush, oil and acrylic brushes and the watercolor brushes so that I can have them organized. That's why I kind of just rushed to use my little travel guy because I don't remember to spend time doing that. Okay, go back to the brown. Feel like I'm shading in the wrong side. Just get this on here. We can do that, figure that stuff out later. Sorry for bumping. Probably wasn't the best place for me to put that. Hmm. Wow, that's kind of cool. Surprised myself. It's weird drawing, not drawing, painting leaves on trees because everything's wintry and barren right now. I really like illustrating barren trees. Like it's making the lines and the silhouettes of trees with no leaves. That's my preference. Guess a couple years in the forest we'll do that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Trees with leaves or barren trees? What do you guys like? They both have their character. I guess that's the joy of the seasons, right? In Florida, I didn't feel like we ever had seasons. Everything was pretty much the same, except it was cold. were pretty much the same, except it was hot. Well, where I lived in Florida, anyways, this central Florida. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do color-wise back here because I might just make it like a muted color that doesn't matter, or I might try to match what's the forest is doing over there. But for right now, for the live, I'm gonna leave it. And honestly, with the timetable here, I'm gonna move on to getting the cats out of their little watercolor paper page. We have very definite seasons here in Braga, quite different to New Zealand, where I'm originally from. Oh my gosh. How cool. What brought you to Portugal from New Zealand? And both of those places are like bucket list items for my husband and I. Tea's getting cold fast. Okay. Come on, little cats. I'm going to do what I can with the scissors because it doesn't hurt my hands as much as the X-Acto knife. I saw somebody cutting something out really fast, and I had to like pause the video to they have like a little X-Acto knife tool that looks like it'd be more comfortable to hold. I don't know. You guys familiar with what I'm talking about? It's kind of what keeps me from like, well, it's kind of what's kept me from trying out tunnel books because there's so much cutting. But the result has to be worth it, right? Wow. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Portugal. We've watched some videos with people being over there. The small town where I live is on the coast. Tree-covered mountains right behind us. Beautiful. Well, y'all can share pictures anytime you want of your where you live. You don't have to share just what you're creating in the community chat. So feel free to do that. And I would love to see pictures. If you haven't checked it out lately, the community chat, I think Eileen shared this week, didn't you, Eileen, with the cool stitching that you did for the wrist adornment? Is that what you call it? Wrist bracelet? Bracelet? It's probably just called a bracelet, isn't it? I don't know. Cuff. That's the word. I found it. I figured it out myself. Yeah. Okay, where'd your foot go, Winter? There it is. All right. I'll have to get the little exact in there. Winter is more of a floof, and Butch is more of a slender, like short hair cat. And Winter is like a muscular look. They're both kind of muscular, but Winter looks more muscular because of his long hair and the way that it lays on him. I have so much fun, you guys, doing this stuff. Like, I think that, excuse me, I think I enjoy it more because I know you guys are creative and you enjoy being creative too. and I don't know, it just feels symbiotic. Is that the right word? I don't know. It just feels nice to know that you guys are into creativity, and like, I don't know if I would experiment as much if I didn't do lives. Maybe I would. Where'd my X-Acto knife go? Over here. Anyways, all that to say is I appreciate you guys showing up and being here with me and creating yourselves, and it feels nice. I kind of feel like I'm channeling my inner Mr. Rogers and Bob Ross. This past week, I kind of had a little shift because I was getting so I'm super I have a lot of empathy. It's like I'm an empath, and it can be debilitating, but I've been learning boundaries and how to protect myself a little bit better. And so um handling, just like approaching things with kindness and compassion, and that includes just even the way that I talk to myself. Because it's kind of chaotic here right now. It won't always be this way. I have to have faith that that's true. You can probably see why I need a better X-Acto method. My X-Acto skills are whew, rough. Oh, brush brand. I'm sorry, I missed some chats here. Okay, hold on. I'm coming. What's your favorite water brush brand? Oh, well, I think I have two. One set, I think they're different. I think the one I'm using right now was gifted. He bought them and didn't use them, so he gave them to me. The one that Okay, let me show you. I'm coming right back. Okay. So the one he gave me was this one called NIJI water brush. So I don't know where he got that. I'm guessing maybe Amazon. I don't know. And then the one I had, I think I got this at Michael's in Asheville, where I bought the Did I buy that in Asheville? Well, I think I bought this at Michael's too. So I think I bought both of these at the same time at Michael's, and it's called Stampin' Up. This one looks like it's made in China, and this one is made in California or Canada. Nope, made in China. That's just the distributor. Okay. I think I prefer, sorry, I didn't even answer your question. I prefer the Stampin' Up ones. Yes, life is hard and art does help. That's right. Well, thanks for tuning in, even if it's late. Yeah, art is definitely Well, I've done very little therapy, not as much as I probably could use, but art is definitely equal, probably more, it's probably better to me than therapy was. Okay, you guys ready for this? So I'm gonna do another layer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm gonna do another layer later, but I'm just gonna put that in there so it's the back. And then I've already made these accordion things. I made 2 of them, and they're the same size as my actual scene. So it's 5 inches. This is 5 inches, and then this is 5 inches tall. Again, I'm not doing a tutorial, and for anyone that's joining me late, this is not a tutorial. But I've wanted to do tunnel books for a while, and there's some birthdays coming up, and I want to make one for my grandchildren, 2 different grandchildren, and I've never made one, so I thought it would be cool to make one for myself. And I'm just using the painter's tape to adhere, but ideally you would want to use glue. The reason I'm using the painter's tape is because I'm not done. Like today, I wanted to kind of get the tunnel book functioning for the live, but I do want to paint more on it. And so me using the painter's tape will help with that instead of, trying to paint after it's all glued together. That wouldn't even be possible, I don't think. All right, so those guys are in. And then the next layer is this one. Sorry, Kat, you gotta go away for a minute. Is this right? Okay, so I need to tape that paper down better. If that was glued, I wouldn't need to do that, but it's not glued, so. I wouldn't mind doing a midweek. I know I wanted to do one before and I couldn't. Ended up not being able to, but I wouldn't mind doing a midweek live as well. But I just can't say that right now because I don't know what day or so when I have it figured out, I'll post. Might be this week that I do a midweek live. I like them because, like I said, I do stuff more, I think. It's motivating. And also, I'm kind of on my own here in this community of where I live with art. And so it's nice for me to feel like I'm hanging out with other creatives. Okay. So if you can imagine behind here, this would be the further away trees behind the creek. Okay. I don't hate this paper. I know, sometimes people, including me, give Walmart a bad rap on their art supply section. But it feels nice, and it feels as nice as the is it Canton? Is that the watercolor? Is that the paper brand Canton? I don't remember, but a big pad I got when at Michael's was, I feel, equivalent to this when I used it. Okay. Mm, that's turning out pretty cool. I'm gonna I'm gonna put cats. So I am gonna go back in here and color because Winter's Tale is gonna get lost, I think. I am gonna put cats in here. And I think right now I'm just gonna tape them on. I actually thought about putting one cat on one layer and the other cat on the other layer. I might do that. We'll put Butch on the rocks. Oh, not like that. I want to get that so you can see behind his paw, but it might not work. Okay. And this has an arch in it now because I wet it too much. So I probably will put this whole thing under a book to kind of flatten it out until I revisit. I don't know if I can do this. Let me see. Well, thank you, Nicola. I was gonna say I haven't seen your name in a while. And Eileen, thank you. I love it too. You know, I try not to have a lot of expectations when I'm doing something because it's the first time usually. Like a lot of times I'm doing something for the first time for my live because I also want to, through this process, talk about doing things scared and not worrying about, what's the worst that can happen. So I appreciate that you're liking it. I can kind of see um, how I can improve it, but I also kind of just enjoy the simplicity of it right now. There's lots of them with well, I'm just messing this all up. There's lots of them with a lot more intricate layers, but you have to start somewhere. Throw that one away. I hear you on the notifications thing because that happens with me. I I need to make sure that I have the notifications when you guys post in the community because I think Eileen posted and then I didn't see it until like 3 days later. I'm so sorry. I don't want that to happen. Mhm. The other day, the creek was running real hard because the snow was melting. Oh, that didn't stick. All the snow was melting, so the creek is running high, and our cats and dog like to climb these rocks. And Winter was jumping from one rock to another, and he missed his step, and I felt horrible. He fell in the creek, about 3/4 of his body. So this is Winter. Like all of that was under in the water for like not even a microsecond because I had my water boots. What do you call those? They're not really water boots, but they're mucky boots. And I was just gonna jump in there and help him, but he was already out before I could do anything. And then I carried him to the house, and he did not want me to do that. He wanted me to let him down so he could clean himself, but it was too cold. So we ran inside, and I towel dried him for like 10 seconds because that's all he would really let me do. And then he went to work and he got himself clean and dry and faster than I could have probably. Well, again, this is a work in progress, but let's take a look. It's what you can do in an hour. Sorry, watercolor pencils, maybe another project or maybe this project later. Feels like this is, I'm having an issue here. Maybe this paper is too big and maybe that's why that's doing that because it's not laying flat. So I need to figure that out. But there's the top view. And bottom view. And ideally it should lay flat when it's not popped out. So I need to go in there and fix that somehow. But and I think adding scenery up in here will help make it feel more finished. And then probably some type of cover. I don't know if you open it and then you see the scene. But I might put Kinsey off in the distance because she really loves hanging out by the creek too. She's our dog. Yeah, I have to fix the mechanism here, but that's basically the concept. Let's see if we can do it this way. Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely worth exploring. Yeah, it makes me want to finish it. I definitely want to finish this. Definitely. I think that would be fun. Put you guys back on here. Oh, making you sick. Yeah. Well, see if this is anything else. Okay, good. That's what I want. Inspiration. Won't be in vain then. It's not in vain anyways, because I've been wanting to make one, but and I'm interested to seeing a mixed media version, you know. So you have to share your creations, people. I want to see them. I want to get inspired too, you know. Yeah, I like that. I do want to figure that out, and I do want to be more I want it to close better, you know. And I want the presentation to be a little bit more for my grandkids. I want it to be a little bit more like I don't want to see that. So I'm going to figure out like a cover or something. But yeah, I enjoy making it. Yeah. Well, this is probably the nicest day we've had here in a long time. And my husband is murmuring about starting a cooking channel. Um, and today he is writing a book. I'll tell you guys about this and then we'll go. But he's writing a book with his favorite recipes growing up from his mom. And his mom and my mom both passed away the same year, 1987. And we didn't know each other, but 2 weeks apart. And so we both kind of grew up, so to speak. We were both 20. I think he was 19. But anyways, he has this idea to do a nostalgic cookbook based on his mom's cooking, and then expound on that from and more and make kind of like a more memory cooking channel, like nostalgic cooking channel. So he's doing that today, so I'm gonna go help him with that, and then he's gonna keep making food. Maybe he's gonna make food all day. I think, I don't know. He's more that he does that more than I do. I can make a grilled cheese pretty good though. I'll tell you that. That's about that's about the extent of my culinary delights. Culinary. Okay, so it is mounted. I didn't tell you all this. I'm sorry. This is cardstock. What I used to create the accordion is Bristol cardstock. Nope, that's paper. This one's cardstock. So I did want it to be stronger because the watercolor paper is so strong. But I think this has to do with the sizing. So when you cut your papers, you want to make sure they're the same size. And this one's already straightening out better. And then once I have this one, and I'm going to untape this and put it flat in the book so it stops curling. But yeah, that's something to play with. Before you glue all your pieces together, play with it. Make sure it's going to do what you want. But I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful day, what's left of it. And we'll see you next week. Take care. You are welcome. We'll see you next time. Y'all take care. I appreciate y'all. I think I am not in the right place to turn this off. Look at that sunshine.